You're working hard to take care of your babies. And the way the world's set up, even when your man gives up, you got to keep it moving on. So it's okay, girl. Take a day, girl, to regroup and to relax your mind. I know your pain, girl. Trust when I say, girl, that tomorrow it's gonna be alright. Just breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe. Then lay your troubles down. When you're tired of all the drama, makes me wanna holler, yeah. I know you're tired of stressing with the world on your shoulders. Breathe in, breathe out, let it go. I know you're tired of stressing. I know, yeah. Breathe in, breathe out, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
Microphone check 1 2 1 2. What up, family? It's your girl, JustPatrice, live with JustPatrice on blowradio.com. Hey, yo, welcome to Monday, baby. It's glad to have you guys joining me. Glad to have this good conversation on deck. So I picked my topic earlier today after having a conversation with my brother, and right before the show we got into such a deep discussion about it. I was like, oh, we got to get on the air. So here I is. I'm glad to have you join in the conversation. Make sure that you take the time to share this video, please, and thank you. If you are watching us live on Facebook, if you happen to be checking out on YouTube, that would be awesome too. If for whatever reason you are in the blowradio.com group, make sure that you give StreamYard permission to post your name or just say hi. And this is whomever, and then we can shout you out via your name. If you're on my personal page, what up, y'all? How y'all doing? Glad to have you joining the conversation. So on, if of course we got a couple T's to cross I's to that. I want to get everything on deck. If you are listening to the show, you gotta be logged into blowradio.com because why not? Where else would you be 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? We are in the building and you have chosen to be with us, and we are thankful for that as well. Don't forget, now listen, I brought it up here more than one time. I keep posting it to share it with you guys. But listen, that $50 deal is always a $50 deal until the station decides to change its prices. And right now, you can advertise your business on blowradio.com with well over tens of thousands of listeners throughout the week, throughout the day, whether you're talking about our primetime station, but 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's commercials available. If you'd like to come and join and sit in and chop it up with me and talk about your business, talk about an event you have coming up to advertise, you're welcome to do that as well. Or if you want to sit and chop it up with Homer Tuesday through Friday, you're welcome to do that based on schedule and availability. Inbox me on Facebook or send an email to iamjustpatrice@gmail. That's JustPatrice @gmail. And I'll send a packet over to you. Or you can just inbox me and then we can, discuss what you are looking to do as far as advertising and promoting your business and hopefully get you in, because I would love to talk to you about whatever it is you got going on. Y'all already know how I feel about entrepreneurs and being people in business. If you have something special happening, it would be an honor to be able to share that with the audience. Bam, bam, and yes, all the great things. So if you are in, I see you guys chiming in, coming on in. I'm appreciating that. Make sure that you comment so that I can shout y'all out. I appreciate that. I gotta bust this promo down one quick for the time. Let me pull this off of here. Yeah, gets that out of there. Oh, that is not good. Do something with this live feed. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at she turned it down. Oh, look at that. Shout out to my brother Devon D for the great intense conversation and for the push for today. Shout out to my cousin Riri. Who is planning a dope event that is coming up, and I'll talk to you a little bit about that. And a couple of other small details. But I guess we should go and get right into it. What the? Why? Oh my gosh. Listen. Okay. Let me just breathe my life away. Real quick, it's always a little something. It's what can life just be? Okay, so we're gonna talk about all the good stuff first. Happy holidays, y'all. We of course we had an amazing Thanksgiving. Those of you who celebrate Halloween, so Halloween jumped us off. Now we got Thanksgiving, and we are just I can't even believe we are only 12 days away from Christmas. Literally. Oh, I should play. No, they're gonna block that too. Jeez. They probably already mad because I played Al Green in the beginning of the show. But I've been playing Al Green, just trying to manifest him into my life because I've been asking my friends for entirely too long to introduce me to the maestro himself. And they keep acting like I'm tripping. My homegirl said I'm gonna end up in the pokey. My guy said I'm gonna get arrested for violation of privacy. I don't want to attack him. I just want to just one time, sir. Just give me one hug and then sing a verse from For the Good Times, and then my life will be complete. Okay, maybe not complete. I'm not got so much to do, but that would just definitely be the icing on the cake of this beautiful life that I got already. Shout out to those of everybody who are celebrating the holidays, getting ready. I definitely want to know what y'all got going on. If you guys are cooking something special, are you doing giveaways? Are you doing what's it called, secret Santas or Christmas gifts? I'm telling y'all and everybody else right now, Patrice Green is not giving away any gifts this season. Nothing that's going to cause me monetary strain. Now, we can talk about some other awesome gifts and exchanges of services and things like that. But I'm not going to the store. I ain't shopping for a nothing. I am building these businesses and I need all of my capital. You follow what I'm saying? It's not personal. I love you. Oh, but if you want for me to be able to afford to buy gifts, that would be so great. Just go buy a gift certificate for Calm Wellness Services or load up on JPA Elevated Products. That would be awesome. And all your loved ones can have greatness and you will be helping me as well. How nice is that, right? Yes, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So, what do you guys got going on for holiday? I see a few of y'all chimed in or checked in or whatever the case may be. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for commenting. I appreciate this. Shout out to the Campbells, Chef Campbell's, Chefs Campbell, for the love and support. I appreciate that. Again to Riri, I see you guys for checking in. Diana Villarreal checked in. I appreciate that. And I see y'all out there. Just come on in and holler at your girl. That'd be great. So, okay. Holidays have not typically been my jam for a very long time. Let's just probably about 20 years or so. Just not my thing. Everybody got theirs, and holidays just hadn't been mine. I have been working on lifting or tapping into my holiday spirit, even though I am a massive fan of Christmas music. Like, I will Christmas carol you down. You feel what I'm saying? Because I feel like they just feel so good. Like they singing about all the happiness of the stuff that in the moments of the things and all the loves and then there's some spiritual music. It just all feels so good to me, and the sound of it makes me reminiscent of a time where life was all good all the time, or at least you thought it was. Even when you was doing something you weren't supposed to be doing, it was just good. You understand what I'm saying? Like as a kid, like my mom made sure that there was little to no worry in my life, like little to no. And I'm very thankful for that. I grew up, like I was born in Milwaukee. I spent a nice pivotal point of my life in California on a military base, learning multiple cultures, a different kind of way to be educated, exchanging of diversity, just a whole realm of maturity that I probably would not have received in the same way had we stayed here in Milwaukee. Um, Thankful for that experience beyond words. This last month or two, one of my homegirls from back then and I reconnected. Amazing to have seen her, and you haven't seen her since I was like 30 years ago, and she looked exactly the same. It was exciting to be able to see her and share energy with her, and just rebuild and reconnect that connection, and going forward on in life's journey. But what I'm reminiscent of mostly is like, I don't know if just parenting was just different then, or where we are now as far as parents go, as far as what is happening and the understanding of how we are communicating with our children, how we are expecting our children to communicate with us. Like what that's looking like across the board. I'm kind of mm, I'm not going to say it because if you're not on the air, I'm not going to advertise it. But if you're on my Facebook page, I just want you to see where I went. Mhm. I just I've come to a point when it comes to not just our youth, but as to people, as adults, as children, as just people, where my understanding to complacency in how we are growing is just so damaging. Like I don't get it. Like I'm trying to not just, feel like the whole world should be burned up like Sodom and Gomorrah, but I just feel like some people are just awfully fucking awful. And the level of IDGAF in this world is so bad based on how we've raised our children, how we treat one another has just manifest into this all out ugliness. And I'm I I'm I just I'm at a point where I'm just over it. I'm over, like over it. And we're responsible. Like it's our fault that these kids have no discipline in their life. It's our fault that, like, you keep going back and forth. Somebody's got to take responsibility for it. So as an adult, as a person who has been responsible for pouring into other people's lives, whether they were other adults or as children, um, whether I want to or not, I have to take on the responsibility of setting my mantle down, setting down my what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, setting down my mantle. Like I don't want it. No, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want to have to fight with and then another parent. I don't want to have to argue with another adult who is refusing to seek counseling. I don't want to argue with another adult who feels like you can't tell me nothing about my kids. I don't want to exchange displeasantries with another parent, another grown person who is not interested in maturing, growing, learning, building, self-improvement. If you're not on in, I don't want to do it. I don't want to anymore. and I don't want to. I spend a lot of time here in radio, here on blowradio.com, trying to offer um, just a different opinion, because my opinion is typically not the popular one when it comes to how we should engage with one another. I don't have any children of my own. However, I've actively been a part of years and years and years of other people's children's life. And the truth is, I'm tired. I'm tired of having to fight a parent about how to parent their child. But somebody's quote unquote got to defend the child, right? Somebody's got to stick up for the child. My solution ain't a pretty one. So I want to talk to y'all about sparing a rod and spoiling a child. We're gonna talk about today, because my solution is whack. I know it's whack. It ain't pretty. I know that it's harsh, but that's my attention. So before we go into my thoughts, I want to take a moment and have some conversation with you guys about what you think that looks like. Like, how are we as parents? And the concept of sparing the rod and spoiling the child. These kids is rotten. Like rotten. Rotten. It's heartbreaking. Rotten. Like they have no capacity, no understanding, so caught up on self that there is almost no guidance, no structure, no engagement, no lesson for making well or concern outside of concern outside of self. None. If it ain't you, then F it. If it ain't me and mine, F it. Like, then you say, who raised y'all? Fam, we did. That's so heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking to understand that, like, we did that. Like, you didn't like how your parents disciplined you, so you opted out on all discipline for your child. Like, you didn't like the kind of consequences that you got as a child, so you opted out on none for yours. No structure, no guidance. And don't get me wrong, after a certain age, children start making their own decisions. It's way early on. But guidance, discipline, direction, engagement, all of that happens at a younger age. Way younger. Not when they teenagers can have exchanges with you, voicing their own opinions, because their mindsets are almost already established. Now, I know that's hard for a lot of people to process, but by the time a person is 16, they've been doing some shit for 16 years. I'm gonna let y'all catch that. By the time you're 16 years, fam. Do you understand what I'm saying? You've been thinking and developing and learning for 16 years. Some people retire on a job for doing a job for 16 years. You retire. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, because you got it down by then. And even though we know that is not the actual case, this is why it's so hard to change their minds already, because we've waited too late in the game to try to say, hey, it's not as impossible, but baby, it's not as easy as it would have been earlier on. I know when you're a single mom, I know when you're a single father, I know. But are you single by choice or by circumstance? And I'm gonna give y'all a minute on that one too. Are you single by choice? Are you a single parent by choice? Are you parenting alone? Parenting not including the other parent, but parenting, period. Is there no one else available to help offer guidance in developing your seed? And a lot of people will say, I did it all by myself. I did it alone. Did you? Like, alone mean like nobody though, fam. Do you understand that? Alone means alone by yourself. And then y'all know how specific I am about language. You got say what you mean and mean what you say. Let's talk about what these words are. You can't just keep opting in your own definition and imposing your own definition into other people's lives and expecting them to understand what the hell you're talking about. Now, if you opted in with a new definition, you would want to absolutely be able to say, this happened. This is what I call it, and this is what it means to me. You're responsible for telling people what you mean. You can't just assume everybody knows exactly what you mean. Were you alone? Or did you just not have the help that you wanted? Or the help that you assumed should be there? Were you alone, mean by yourself? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, for real, by yourself. There are some people who were alone, and I do mean alone. Mean, okay, I'm finna leave, lock the door, and you don't go nowhere. And I feed you, you eat everything. You don't go to school. Nobody found. Understand the difference, and this is where we get smudged at on the communication, is because people just be making up their own definitions. That's why there's such a breakdown in communication. You can't just the words. I use this as a definition. I use this as an example all the time. A stop sign, according to this traffic society, or the society for this traffic, is an octagon, eight-sided shaped, that we've named the octagon, that has red face, a white border, and the word stop in white across the middle. That is a stop sign. Now, there are other signs that look similar, but those are not stop signs. A yield sign, baby, is a triangle. It has three sides. It is also red with a white line in the word yield across the middle, but they don't mean the same thing. Yield and stop are similar, related even, because in order to get to one, you got to do the other. You got to slow down, which is a yield, a pause, and then you stop. You understand what I'm saying? It ain't the other way around. You can't stop then yield, G. You can't. It's the process. They are not the same though. You understand? Like, and so same definition requirements when we are explaining what it is we want, what it is that we need, how are we communicating, and we just do such a terrible job at that. My definition and my answer it ain't the right, it ain't a sweet one. I'm not saying it's right or wrong because it's mine. Now, I mean, call it what you want. Be mad about it if you want. You understand what I'm saying? But we gotta we at some point we have to make the decision to make the change. And the truth is, I personally am tired. I think it's wonderful, all these organizations and people out here trying to save the youth, not turning their back on the youth, trying to make sure that they know that somebody is there for them, building up relationships between people. And I'm ecstatic that that is happening, that there are organizations that are teaching self-love, that are teaching positive self-thinking, positive body image, being available to communicate, being a shoulder, big brother, big sister, on whole all kind of level, national, regional, and local. Like, I'm all for it. Teresa's just tired of arguing with all of these parents about how to and what is and is not good for their children, because they're their children. You laid down and humped yourself into oblivion to have this child and we're not talking about accidental pregnancies. And when I say accidental pregnancies, I mean pregnancies that occurred when someone was taken against their will, manipulated. That's you know what I'm saying. If you had a child and you were not manipulated into having this child, and or taken by assault or force, you just simply failed to follow up on your shit. That ain't no accident, bro. You failed. You failed. I was trying. You was absolutely not. You went raw. You allowed him to go raw. The what's that called? The pull out method don't work for everybody. But we were taught all of this, and because you opted out on that information, that ain't nobody's fault but your own, fam. And then people say, I know that's not nice, but it's facts. I'm not here right now to be nice to you about what a fact is. Your pull out game was whack, sir. We learned a long time ago in the classes that everybody was trying to get to when they were teaching sex ed that there are sperm cells in pre-cum. And you just gave all your little babies away. You understand what I'm saying? Girl, it was just on my leg. They moved, they swam. You were taught that in junior high. Do you understand me? So accidental pregnancies, pregnancies that were not on purpose, or a pregnancy where you failed to plan or failed to execute, that's not the same thing, bro. And in my opinion, in my space over here, you don't get no pass, no trophy for that, fam. You did not. You did not do the things that you were supposed to do for to get the things that you were supposed to get. And guess what happened? You got the thing. Hey baby. Hey baby. I just wasn't prepared. I never thought I was gonna be able to do this with my life. Well, here you are. Here you are. As traumatizing as you know that your life was coming up, and now you're a parent. As wonderful as your life was, but you never opted in on certain kind of responsibility. There's no guidebook to being a parent. However, common decency and social engagement, like social normalities, that's not a foreign thing. You understand what I'm saying? Like, people know better. Most people opt out on common courtesy. That's the word I'm looking for. Most people opt out on it. Like, I don't want to. And that's just the selfishness in us. And to some extent, I get it. You got to take care of you. You want to look out for you. I get it to some extent. But in some extent, fam, where do we draw the line? Where did you draw the line with your children? Hey, I know that this is happening in your life, but we have to blah 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 whatever. You get what I'm saying? And we talking about raising children across the decades. It's 2021. We are not raising our children the way that we were raised. It ain't gonna even try. It ain't even kind of gonna work a little bit. It ain't. You cannot raise your children how you were raised. You can attempt it. So what are the things that you are implementing now? I mean, if some things don't change, we know we don't leave no hot tail ass teenagers in the cribs by themselves. We know we don't do that because that has never changed. Opportunity will present itself, and they taking it just like we did. You understand what I'm saying? We also know that you don't leave untrustworthy children in responsible situations until they've gained the ability to be trusted. But that's just something you learn. But are we not teaching? What are we not teaching our children? Common courtesy. Just a whole generation of kids walking around with a strong IDGAF in their spirit. Who taught them that? A whole generation. And some of these are your children. Some of these are your nieces and your nephews. Are we kidding? We not, though. Do we not mean it? We mean it. And I'm spare the rod, spoil the child. Is what they say. Spare the rod, spoil the child. When people hear that, they automatically think physical discipline. They automatically assume that you have to hit your children and that's the only way to provide discipline. Discipline comes in multiple forms, fam. Consequences come in multiple forms, and they don't always result in they're not always as a resort of whoopings. But let it be said that Patrice Green is not against an ass whooping. Let it be said also, I'm not against capital punishment. Because some people need to go to sleep. But we'll talk about that in a little bit when we talk a little bit more about how do you guys feel about that? Like, how do you feel we are how Oh my gosh. Spare the rod, spoil the child. What does that mean to you? I see y'all chiming in. What's going on, Ty King? How you doing? My homegirl, the Campbells are in the building. What's good? Chef Campbell's in the building. Steve, Big Blue Gladdy has joined the conversation. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. And Ty says you're right about that because the kids won't be able to take the beating. See, now you didn't use the word beating. That's a whole other level of an ass whooping, sir. A beating. This is the thing. This the beauty of language is that all these words have meanings. That's what a dictionary was created. The words have a meaning. And when you start reassigning definitions, you got to be careful with that and be careful to be clear about what the reassignment is. Explain it. You understand what I'm saying? You can't just magically be like, this new word is that. It is not. Beating is not the same thing as a spanking or it's like beating is a series of violence. That is, but we'll go into definitions in a minute. I'm just saying I won't break it down. I know that everybody's got their understanding of what certain things mean, but that's why the words have definitions. G, you don't got to figure it out. You don't got to assume that it meant this instead of that. There's the definition so that you can be clear on what that definition is, and then what you do is you use the definition that was given. You not the association, not the well for me it was, or I think. Not use the definition that was given, and then there be no confusion. You understand? It be no breakdown. No need to try to figure it out. I know that in this world we all make our way. Some people were forced to figure it out. You would think that in those spaces that would afford an opportunity to require, like on the inside, like, but it just don't. Apparently it don't work like this. If I was forced to figure out something, and I'm responsible for someone to come behind me and under me, I'm probably gonna make it so they're not forced to figure it out too. Especially if while I was being forced to figure it out, I suffered. If it got hard on me, if things were difficult, I'm probably not gonna want that for somebody that I love. I'm probably not gonna want that same kind of struggle for somebody that I care about and that I want what's best for. So how do we draw these lines, right? Because spare the rod, spoil the child. I'm not never making my kids stay at home. I'm not never making my kids not be able to go by their such and such house. I'm not never. And then your child ends up in a compromising situation or hurt or with a whole IDGAF attitude. Where do we draw the line? How do we lay that out? How? Where? Where does it come from? How do we get it there? You understand? Like, cause I'm trying to figure it out. It's not making any sense. Any sense. We y'all if you're this that's like I feel like this. If you are obese and your children are obese, unless it is genetic, shame on you as a parent. You know how hard it is, what the struggle is in your life. Why are you not teaching at least teaching your child to eat better, to do better, to be more active? Instead of you just right along the same habits with a whole I don't give a fuck attitude about to your child. Heart disease, high cholesterol, heart failure, diabetes. Like this ain't something somebody just pulled out their ass and just made up in the moment. Like it's a thing. And you want that for your children. And you want that for your children. I don't get it. I'm trying to grasp. You understand what I'm saying? How we don't take that into consideration. We're supposed to want better for our children, not the same, not worse. Better. You're supposed to want better for our children, but it's not turning out to be any of that at all. If you a whole gangster and you out here fighting every day on these streets, trying to live your best life, you understand what I'm saying? Slinging whatever it is you slinging, whether it's drugs, women, people, whatever the case may be, and you raise your children to suffer and endure the same time. You a suck ass parent. This is my opinion, and I'm entitled. If you don't like it, don't care. If you know that is the case, once you now, don't get me wrong. Some people, and I know this, don't care about being a parent. Some people are so not well that they don't give two hells about the type of influences they have on the seeds that they brought into this life. You understand what I'm saying? Like none. What do you do about that? What do you do? Again, my answer to some of these questions, it's not the popular response, fam. Because who's responsible? Who's going to choose then? Who's going to choose then? Who's going to choose who gets corporal or capital punishment? Who chooses who gets to be a parent and who doesn't? Like it should be a whole resume required, a whole test series of tests that need to go down for you to be able to be a parent. Like you, it's a thing. This is our society. This is how we live. This is what we want. In order to parent children here, this is what's required. People think that that's messed up, but it happens over on Hold on one second. What? I see you. Did you want to call in? Let me know. I see the call coming in. I'm gonna put it back if you want to call in. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Let me know if you want to call in for real. Like, what do you do? You know what I'm saying? Like people, they do it in Japan. They tell you how many you can and can. It's freedom of speech, freedom of my body, freedom of all the things I should be able to do whatever I want and however I want and what I want to do. That's come on. We have to live cooperatively in a society. It's cool if you don't want to live over here because this is how we do over here. If you don't want to live over here, that's fine. Go over there though, fam. Because you can do what you want, live how you want, do whatever. But as soon as that shit start bleeding over into my life, now we got to talk about it. Now we got to talk about it. You understand what I'm saying? How to engage, how to manage that type of engagement. What are you supposed to do? What do you do? How do you manage that? That's on y'all. Y'all the parents. I'm asking y'all. Because all you keep hearing people say is, I'm doing the best that I can. I'm working with all the things that I got. And all these resources is out here, including other people. I think folks are just mad. No, I cannot. I was going to say that. No, I cannot. Um, all these people are trying to find a way to help you, but because it's not the person that you want it to be, because it's not who you who you think it should be, then everybody suffers. Everybody suffers because in this moment, sir, you opted out on parenting. You didn't want to be a dad, and she got pregnant. She had the baby anyway. You gave away your seed. You gave it away, and as soon as you spewed it out, you learned that it wasn't yours anymore. And then you gave her when you relinquished that much power, you should be concerned that you so willingly relinquished that much of your lifeline. Like you gave it, like you in control of that. You understand what I'm saying? Like you can't have no child without us, but we can't have no child without you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? You can't have a child without it. It's like your legacy stops with you. You understand what I'm saying? If you don't plant your seed, your legacy stops with you. How and fucking ever. We cannot have no kids asexually. You are in control of who manifests your seed. Keep it, sir. Keep it. Keep it. Be choicey, sir, about who you fertilize. Be choicey, sir. I'm talking about downright damn out. I'm all my nuts mine, sir. All of it. Just keep it. You understand what I'm saying? Keep it. And then you can figure out from here on out, what do you do in that capacity? Then you have to figure out, what do you do in that capacity? How you maintain any of that. Do you understand what I'm saying? How? Because it's yours. Off jump. Like in the beginning, it's yours. How do you manage that? How do you put it into focus? How do you put it into play? How do you set it off? It's yours. And I know, here we go. Here we go. You don't necessarily know whether or not she's like a freaky Jason until it's too late. You don't necessarily know how that's gonna pan out until it's too late. You don't know it. I just be so glad when y'all over the thrill of the nut that y'all hold on to it like it's the jewel that it is. It's precious for a reason. It's precious for a reason. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's called a jewel, a family jewel, for a reason. It holds the most precious thing that you own, sir, your bloodline, your DNA, your legacy, not hers. Why are you giving it away so freely? That is very interesting. Why, sir, are you giving it away so freely? Such a great question to be asked. I just feel like it starts there. And a lot of people won't say that it starts there, but it does. It does. They say we took the men out of the home. Then the men are men. Sir, there's no children without your semen. There's no children without your seed. None. None. Of course, there's no place to incubate it. But you want to be honored in that capacity? Be in control. Be in control, sir. Be in control. Now you don't want to deal with her crazy, sick, psycho, freaky Jason ass, and she not letting you, quote unquote, letting you see your children, letting you be a father, because these chicks is not wrapped well. And I know this is not a popular opinion. I know that some of y'all is not pleased with what I'm saying. But I don't care. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. At some point in time, you got to draw the line. With mental illness running this rampant in our community, it's time for y'all to just cut this baby shit out, man. You can't parent the children that you have. Because, quote unquote, there's no rule book to parenting. You're right, it's not. But you're spoiling your children because we are sparing them consequence. You are spoiling your children because we are sparing them discipline. You are spoiling your children because you are refusing to parent. They not your friends, fam. They are counting on you to learn to be a better person. They are counting on you to learn to be active and functional within the society. And if you can't do that, please stop having children. Please stop having babies. Please. Please tell your sister and them, your cousins them, tell your mom and them, please stop having babies. Please. And stop like it's enough already. It's enough already. And now, and here's the deal. On top of the fact that we are failing them in lesson, we are failing them in it's just killing me. Y'all devastated because they dying left and right. Whose fault is it that they dying? Whose fault is it that these children are careless and reckless and without consequence and without structure? Who's responsible for that? You can't be partially responsible, only happy and on a team when they everything is going great. When stuff is screwed up, guess who's responsible? Guess who's responsible? Guess who? Y'all killing me. So they out here randomly killing people. And don't give me stuff. People been killing people for a long time. It's not a new thing. People been killing people for a long time. You're right, it's not new. But it's just excessively worse. Excessively worse. Excessively worse. Unbelievable. OJ Kelly said these Negroes ain't quote unquote raising their kids. They just allowing humans to grow in their house. Facts. And D-Rock said, word of the day is vasectomy. Listen, if that's what you feel like it needs to happen, that is interesting. Okay. If that's what you feel like it needs to be, hey, do what you got to do to stop somebody from misusing your seed, sir. I know. It's some of y'all out there that was humping time. Oh, I wanted to have my baby. Manifesting seeds. Oh, I wanted her to be my baby mama. And then you just rolled out. We're not talking about who you chose or how you chose it. We can go back. That conversation can go on endlessly. Absolutely endlessly. What I'm saying though, what we need to like really be like in tune with, like legitimately be in tune with. My gosh. Is how we are taking the present state of our child, our children, our friends, our coworkers, how we're managing that into to better. I can sit here and fuss at y'all all day about how these kids are still running lights and smashing up cars because they think and shit. Like, you got $500 to pay my deductible, you little not kind person. You're not gonna pay my deductible. You're not gonna be able to, but actually be able to afford my own deductible. Well, you just wasted my money. You just made me spend money that I for what? For what? You understand me? You said with my dumb ass. Oh, you was saying, oh, I wanted to have my kids. like I said earlier, I mean, we don't always know that it's gonna end up not great. You understand what I'm saying? I understand that. We don't always know that. But for real, y'all. I don't know about y'all. I'm tired. I'm tired of arguing with these parents. I'm tired of being back and forth with their kids. I ain't doing it no more. I be talking to y'all and I be like, I know, some of y'all I'm preaching to the choir. Some of y'all I'm like, they like, don't be talking about me. Don't feel special about don't feel picked on. Just do better. And I say this all the time, we all need therapy at some point in time. It won't answer. Just bear with me. We all need therapy. You understand what I'm saying? We all need to some form of wellness. But are we seeking that? Like most of us really like, I'm straight. I'm good. Most of y'all not. And your insurance finna go up. What you say, OJ? And my insurance is finna go up. Because you pay this extra 20, 30, $40 I gotta pay a month. Plus the $500 deductible that I had to get full coverage because I knew somebody was gonna be out here and I'm jeopardizing my opportunity for peaceful well-being in life. Because why? Because why? I see you calling. Hold on 1 second, D. Hold on 1 second. It's just too much going on. It's too much for me to process. But we got a caller coming in. Thank you for logging on to blowradio.com. You are live with JustPatrice. Welcome to Mondays. Divine D, the world is watching, is in the building. What's happening? How you doing? I know. I be like every day when I call, when you answer the phone, it's in the morning, that's what you're supposed to say. But he don't.
Oh man.
He don't. That's how you're supposed to answer the call when I call, but he don't. I try to feel a little special. So on the phone right now is the infamous man himself, Mr. Divine D. The world is watching. What you call a curator, facilitator of Early Bird Morning Show, live on the internets all over the place, and CEO of LMBN. So what's going on, sir? How you doing?
Hey, the world is watching, man. Life is good.
I know
Excited.
I know this is burning all your little skin up. I know you mad at hell at me. That's okay. I know. Come on, you got some time. I got a little time for you today. Let's go.
Okay. oh, oh man. Great topic. I want to say just thank you and great topic. I think the listeners and we all, will learn something from this conversation, even in healing and other things. Um, yeah, yeah. Where did we leave off?
Where did we leave off? Okay, let's just start about from where we are now. So now we're talking about how as a parent now, understanding what the effects of what happened with you growing up as a child, and then how is that reflected in your style of parenting? How are you with the pros and cons of that? How's it affected your life as a parent?
As a parent,
Not as the child, but as a parent. We'll talk about you as the child in a moment.
As a parent, is greatly affected how I parent, due to just being able to replace some of and being in place for some of the things that wasn't in place for me growing up. So it allowed me to pay attention to a lot more, just and not just get lost into being a parent and responsibilities and just do what I say and shut up. Always been a parent to listen, what I mean, even to my children as on an individual basis, because I do have multiple children, and not just treat them just like a herd of cattle and everybody just got to do the same thing. I was the only child when I grew up. So with my mom working as much as she did, and with my father not being around and for the earlier parts of my life, it was really, I had to really take charge of, the direction and what I wanted and what I was seeking. I had to go find my own mentors. I had to go find my own places that I belong and people to play with. You know what I mean? Like I had to go find all that. So as a parent today, I just try to make sure that I'm present, no matter how much I'm doing, no matter what I'm doing. that I'm respecting that, you know what, as children, as we call them, and as young adults, as they grow into, that, you know, we understanding that we living in a whole different time, and, you know, they deserve respect, and, you know, being open enough and objective enough to to understand that, no, they might not know everything, and they might not know a lot of things, but whatever the thing is that they going through in his life, in their life, is real at the same time, and just being respectful to that. um One of the things as a parent, I didn't get caught up into the whole I'm finna spoil my kid thing. And the reason I didn't really just dive all into just spoiling the kids, giving them whatever they want because I wanted them to have things that I didn't have, is because some of that I did look at my life and I had to say, you know what, some of these learning lessons and things that I had to figure out in life is what made me to be the strong individual that I am. So I, you know, although we want to give our kids all the great experiences, I didn't want to rob them of the things that was going to allow them to learn on their own at the same time.
So let me ask you this, just quick pause right here. So the phrase "spare the rod, spoil the child." When you hear that, what does that incite? Like, what does that make you think of?
Was spare the rod was fire for whooping the kids, right?
Well, I mean, I'm asking you
I
for
was
your
a I
interpretation.
was I was a parent of whoop that ass.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
I am. I was a parent of, you know, what I mean, I mean, not that I, you know, it was every chance you get, you could whoop that ass, but you know, if it came down to it, you know, we was handling that. But for the most part, I mean, since I got mostly girls, I didn't really get to do much whooping.
You
My
silly, but
son and
okay.
them my sons paid for it, but with a lot of daughters, you know what I mean, I had to find other ways in order for to do and it's not really about a whooping. What it's really about is effective discipline.
Boy,
That's really
I come
what,
to the phone and slap you right now. Say it again, D.
you know what I'm saying. It's effective discipline.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's it.
Uh,
That's it. Ah, yes, I'm sorry. Just give me like 2 seconds to just bask in that right quick. It ain't just about physically assaulting these children. It's effective discipline. Boy, you 5 points for Devon.
I mean, that's what it all comes down to, because just whooping a child, and, you know, I mean, if it ain't working, it ain't working. You need to cut it out. It's just about how to be effective in the discipline of the
Yes.
child, whether it's a learning experience, whether it's a time to sit down and reflect, or, you know what I'm saying, or it was just you knew better and you just being disrespectful, and now you got to feel it. You know what I mean?
So
You know,
so
just
let
being.
me ask you this: like, a lot of these things you taught yourself, or
Hmm.
engaged with people to learn that these lessons that you are using so prevalently now. You understand what I'm saying? So I
Hmm.
appreciate the fact that you saying you have to learn and what to use and how to, what parent, and these different types of discipline that you just listed. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you was
Hmm.
being disrespectful. Sometimes you was doing it. Sometimes you knew better. Whatever the case may be. As a parent who
Hmm.
had minimum engagement with their parents, whatever the case may be,
Hmm.
what do you think that it was within you that encouraged you to seek out these lessons, to seek out the know betters, or the improvement for self, so that you could be a better, or do the better, or you understand what I'm saying?
Try it one more time.
So as a parent
Hmm.
who was not actively parented,
Hmm.
okay, what do you think that it was within
Oh,
you
okay.
that lit a little match, or put a spark that said, you know what, I want to learn such and such, such and such, such and such, so that I can be not just all the things that I didn't get as a parent. I don't want to just give my kids whatever. I want them to learn the disciplines. I want them to learn this. I like, where did that come from if you weren't parented?
Well, I love my children, and yeah, you know, parenting does not come with a structure manual. But as an individual, like I said, we can say those are my children, but what we got to understand, these are little human beings. And whether we got a lot of you little human beings we're responsible for, whether it's one human being we're responsible for, if you love them, it's almost like a relationship with any a man or a woman. Sometimes you got to think outside of yourself and really try to dive into the feelings of that person. You know what I mean? We could say that's a kid. They ain't got no, they got feelings. They got a lot of things that, you know what I'm saying, sometimes we adults don't consider. And I had to learn that, or it was lose your child. And I knew that too. And I learned that, you know,
Sir, could you just
especially
one more time? I need you to, like, you hitting on so many key points. I had to learn that, or it was what?
lose my child.
Or mm, thank you. Pause and I'm put
Uh,
that right here in the little book right here. Cause
yeah, I mean,
yes,
I learned that, especially with my oldest son. I mean, he's 24 now. And I had to learn that, you know what, if I'm just gonna think about me and what I think he should have, then I'm gonna lose him because he's gonna run. They're gonna run away. They're gonna run to something that, you know what, feels more good. Somebody that listens to them. Somebody that, you know, they feel that, you know, understands them. And you know, it's a lot of times, unfortunately, that be some streets in the streets, and you know, the streets ain't got no love for nobody. And I had to learn either sometimes we just be having our foot on their neck so hard that sometimes you got to just let up, just let it go. And like you say, I mean, my one daughter, she sat and told me one day, and like I say, if you listen to them, if you give them the opportunity to speak, they'll tell you. And she told me, and then one of my oldest daughter, it was like my second oldest daughter, and she said, "Dad, let me make my own mistakes." And that's exactly what she told me. She said, "Dad, let me make my own mistakes." In in comprehension of that, I know you're trying to tell me this because you don't want me to make a mistake, but I can't learn that way because I need to know, you know, why. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
And like I said, you got to really listen to the kids because they'll tell you exactly what they seeking for, what they looking for. And yes, they looking for you for discipline. They look at you, look at their parents for leadership and all that. But they want to make sure that they at least got a voice to be heard. So that at least if I know that my parent or they know that their parent at least heard them, that this discipline is at least going in the direction of, you know what I mean, of care and someone that actually heard them.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. So I'm glad to hear, like, you brought up so many like valid points, like so many that I kept like bookmarking because I think, people miss those. Like, I'm a whole hard ass. I know. You know what I mean? And like I am, but my patience is very thin these days, especially. You know what I mean? I've come up in youth development, listening and nurturing both child and parent for shit the better part of 30 years, keeping it
mhm.
100. You know what I mean? And then when you try to be the resource, because a lot of these parents, we said this earlier, I did it, single parenting and a parenting alone is not the same thing, people. You understand what I'm saying? A single parent and and parenting alone is not the same thing. And a lot of people misunderstand, like, single parent, like Divine, you were a single parent for a while. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But you didn't parent alone. You understand what I mean? And but some people
right.
will swear up and down, I did it all by myself. Nobody was there to help me. Nobody. Nobody.
Yeah.
See me. I did a full lean on the screen. Nobody. Nobody. The lies. The lies. You get what I'm saying? And when I hear those types of victimization, you get what I'm saying? Self victimization. I already know what's happening in the home. You know what I mean? And a
Mhm.
lot of these what's the word I'm looking for? Curriculum that people establish to try to apply to certain life structures. We know that life is not cookie cutter. People are not cookie cutter. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
a lot of the things that a lot of curriculum that was created not specifically for people of different communities. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You kind of know where I'm going with that. You know what I mean?
Yep, yep, yep. Mhm.
You can't apply everything to everybody. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-mm.
How and ever, as a part of the society, and this is just my personal opinion, as we live in a society that includes me, you, and all these other people around, there is some type of established rule, okay, so that we can, what's the word I'm looking for? So that we can exist collectively. Okay. Now you don't got to be in the box cutter. Everybody don't got to wear the same clothes, same shoes, house grass, same whatever. There's individuality when we start talking about common courtesies. You get what I'm saying? How do we assure that, or ensure, assure, reassure that some of these common courtesies are properly exchanged? What is your opinion on that?
Ooh, that's a deep one. Um, Clear that up for me one more time,
We got to
because I
live
want to make sure I answer.
in
I just
in
want to
in
make
the
sure I'm
society.
answering that right.
We got to live in a society, and
Mm-hmm,
we have to live. Like you got to be, I got to be able to go out down the street to the store.
mm-hmm,
You know what I'm
mm-hmm,
saying, and do so within a generally within a safe space. Okay,
mm-hmm,
because that's how we have to exist. I need to be able to go to the store. I need to go to the gas
mm-hmm,
station, and be able to hang with my friends, my family, socialize, whatever the case may be, and do so within the safest possible environment. And in order to
mm-hmm.
do that, there are established common courtesies for societies to be able to engage. That's how they're established. These are the things that we do over here. Like the curfew that used to be 10 o'clock that nobody paid attention to. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or so you can get off the streets at a certain time so things can happen to do certain things or whatever the case may be. How do we
Right.
assure, ensure, or reassure that these types of common courtesies, or at least in the most general sense, are being passed down? You understand what I'm saying? Without feeling like quote unquote
Ooh.
restrictions or obligations. Another thing to toss out the window with, I'm not making my kids do such and such, such and such because
Well,
I did.
okay. Yeah, I would say this. If they don't have a village mentality, then it's gonna be hard. Um, because I mean, in today's world, a lot of times everybody is the enemy, and nobody trusting nobody, parents against parents, kids come back, say something about somebody, then everybody just want to fight all of a sudden. Um, it's hard to say, assure any of that in today's world,
Okay.
but as far as being an example of, I mean, that's how I end up adopting so many damn kids. When I say adopting so many kids, I got so many kids that ain't mine that I take care of, because they see certain things that maybe their parents aren't giving them, or their father wasn't around. But and especially in my household, I'm a very I'm a strict father. Like, what I mean, like, we have structure. You know what I mean? So any kid that come over here, whether you drop them off or whether they mine, got to follow along with this structure.
I'm glad to hear you say that out loud. That you was a strict father.
Yeah, I
I'm glad to hear
mean,
you say that out loud because even I'd be like Divine. Okay, bro. But nonetheless, continue. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
but no, yeah. So anybody, when the children are dropped off, and come with, if one come with my son or whatever, they all, got to follow along with that same structure. What I've ended up learning is that, once the children come to my house, they never want to leave. And I'll be like, why do you want to leave here? I ain't doing nothing fun. And every time you leave a cup, I'm on your head, because, I want you to understand the culture of how we live. But, so much structure has not been established in homes nowadays, that, kids, they know what they seeking for, but they understand, they just figure out, if I don't get it, hey, I'm gonna take care of myself at the same time, or I'm gonna go out here somewhere else and find it. Like I said, like, growing up as a kid that didn't have his father around, it's a lot of me's out there. And what happened was, when we started having kids, we started clinging on to them. We like, forget that. I'm not leaving my kid because my daddy wasn't around. You know what I mean? But now, the part that was forgotten is that now that you got these kids, what you got to put in them.
Okay.
And that's where a lot of those, those morals and those values that helps not just the family and the household, but also serves the community, get lost. And I hear a lot of, parents, I want to be my kid's friend, and, and then what you blur the line between, saying my homie and my mama, or my, what I'm saying, or my dude and my dad, what I'm saying? And like, those lines are just getting blurred. And
Do you think that children want you to be their friend?
heck no.
Okay. I'm
They
just
don't want you to
asking.
be. No, they don't want you to be their friend, but they want you to be open enough that they can talk to you too,
So
because
you
they want that source of wisdom. They want a source of wisdom, inspiration, and everything else. But I want to know that you're gonna treat me like a human being, because we keep treating them like baby goats, kids all the time.
So
You know what I'm
do you
saying?
think that that's where the line got blurred? And one of the lines, because it's so many
Yeah,
that people people misinterpret it. Like a whole generation of people
yeah, they did, and they
misinterpreted
started
open
disrespecting. They started
communication.
disrespecting the kids, and the kids felt like they didn't have to get no respect back because nobody wanted to respect them by
Mm,
listening, just by simple listening to them, listening, understanding what they wants and needs are, so that they can feel like, oh, you do care instead of you just trying to tell me what to do.
okay, so um as a mentor that you have
Hmm.
been for umpteen years, or whatever the case may be, you know what I mean. And I'm telling you, as a mentor, I'm tired. Okay,
Hmm.
and I
Okay,
know,
yeah,
listen, and I know that my where my ends rope solution right now, it ain't pretty.
hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I've been asking people, you know, those of you guys that are logged on. I see you, Dontrell. What's up now? Joining, I appreciate that. But as the as of right now, the my patience is so like, I'm ready to tap out, like on all of this. You understand what I'm saying? What type of what do you have to offer to the the me's of this life, who are, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, just gather all these little motherfuckers up. You know what I'm saying? And I listen, I said this one, the proper idea. This ain't a good idea. I said that, I know it. Okay, I'm this
Right.
Patrice. This is my opinion. I'm telling y'all right now that it's me saying it. Okay, I just
Right.
when you did what? Just gather these little motherfuckers up, and, and then sit them down in the little space, and then we can determine after we just go through and pick them up like a magnet, a big super magnet, super ride through the city, just snatch them. And I'm talking about, and I don't mean kids. Mind you, we're not talking about just by children or age or whatever. I don't give a fuck how old you are. If you out here ruining the peaceability of our society, I believe that there should be a master magnet that just ride around the city and just suck that ass up. You know what I'm saying? And I know, I know, I know it ain't right. What do you have to offer somebody like me that's saying just put him in the field? And I don't mean an open field. I mean like in a closed dome. All of them.
You just got to readjust your expectation.
Okay, I'm listening.
Um, just readjust your expectation. I mean, like I said, as things evolve, we have to as well. Something that's just so inside of you, and that's why I was telling you earlier, you can't get rid of it. There's no way for you to stop. It just ain't gonna happen. Whether it's with adults or children, it's just a part of you. Period. It's part of your mission. It's part of your purpose. It's part of who you are. So there ain't even no getting away from that. You know what I mean? Like with you or people who are like you, who just got that, who just automatically got that heart. You know what I mean? Like you just got to make sure that you at the same time just protect your peace within it, and especially but not, not to the point where you just, throw your hands up, because it ain't gonna happen anyway, even if you try to
Ain't
throw
that
your
a
hands
song?
up.
Throw your hands up. Ain't that a song? Because I feel
Yeah,
like that's how I
yeah,
feel, D. Like
but you can try,
like
but you can't.
so what I did was to accommodate what you're saying, or to reply to what you're saying. So I started City Milwaukee, YMCA, neighborhood house. You know what I'm saying? I've been on
Yeah,
the ground. I've done a lot of
and
work,
yeah,
not all the
yeah,
work, but
yeah.
I've done a lot of work. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
and you're right,
You
and that's
ugly
what it
who?
kind of prepared me at the same time. Your Vel Phillips. I went from Vel Phillips to neighborhood house to COA, to what I'm saying,
Exactly.
to
You know what I'm saying? So it's in you to care, because I believe it's
yeah,
in all people, unless they sociopaths. It's a natural instinct to care. Like seriously,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? To care and to want more, to want better, to do better. You know what I'm saying? I think that at some point in time the little button gets pushed. You get what I'm saying? Like you get, you know, may not necessarily go off, but somebody is like tweaking a little button, like, okay, F this world, F everything and everybody in it, because nobody cares about me enough to make a change. So I don't want to care about nobody. And then sometimes it gets turned off, sometimes it gets turned back on. But
well,
what I'm
this is what I would tell you, and people like you. And this is a story that goes back. You can look it up. And this is what they said. They said, you know what? Sometimes we can walk along that beach and we see all those seashells out there, right? And we may say, you know what? It's too many out here. Like I can't save all these, but it do matter to the one that you can throw back and the one that you can't save. So yeah, it might not be your mission for this mass generation of mindset change for the entire city of Milwaukee. But you know what? There's probably a good I know of a good 10 that I know that you've touched that I can say, you know what I'm saying? You know what? It mattered to them. You know what I mean? And we got to let those flowers grow too at the same time because those 10 remember Patrice. You know what I mean? And that's where your legacy gonna lie. So, I mean, so for people who, sometimes be frustrated and say they throw their hands up, listen, you have done a lot, you know what I mean, within the people that you have already saved. Sometimes in our mind is the expectation of, man, why do you won't just get it together? Everybody just need to get it together. Everybody going through their whatever, you know what I mean, going through their own thing. And like I say, everybody will get it in their own time. And that's what we were saying earlier, is like in their own time, somebody might not be ready right now because of whatever they're going through, or they focus on some other part of their life, or whatever the case may be. But, a time will come where, they will think about, that thing, or that, this particular subject, and it will become important to them. And, at least they'll have the recall or the memory of someone who may have told them, or things they may have heard before, even if somebody else telling you, like, I told you that already. But you know what? It became more and more familiar and more embedded as, people start hearing things and start feeling and seeing things and experiencing things more.
I'm gonna tell you honestly, I used to have the heart and the energy that you have and that you have right now, and all of that statement that you're saying, and
Mhm.
I used to have that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like he sounds so sweet. You know what I'm saying? And
Hey,
it's so
hey,
like
Patrice, but I'm gonna tell you straight up, I get you with that, but I'm gonna tell you right now is you still doing it.
I'm doing it right now. That's why we're having this conversation.
Exactly. So again, it's one of those things that we can get frustrated with, but we can't get away from.
So I understand how it. What I'm saying is where I was going was that how we've transitioned into from all the phases of trying to have these type of conversations, trying to plant these seeds, not trying to, but actively planting seeds. You know what I'm saying? Since you and your team don't use the word trying, early birds in this piece. You know what I'm saying? Planting these seeds and watching them grow, whether they sprout into greatness or sprout into the moments of everything don't take. I understand that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The zeal that comes along with that, I commend organizations like A Pretty Big Deal, Pretty Plus Size and Powerful, My Sister's Keeper, we said We Will Not Die Young, We Got This. I can just keep naming all these organizations here in Milwaukee alone that are working diligently to try to restore, you know what I'm saying, those broken pieces. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not necessarily fix or make better or whatever the case may be. Nobody's perfect. You know what I'm saying? But to try to offer some restoration so that we can, move on and be the best of us that we can be, better than we were the day before,
Right.
not compared to whomever, but better than the day before. But when I hear that and then I see the things that are happening in this life, and
Mm-hmm.
in this life, not just in my city, but because
Mm-hmm.
it's around the world. Like
Mm-hmm.
I feel depleted, D. I'm like, I
Yeah.
cannot. Not another parent, not another conversation with a 40-something-year-old man who thinks that blah 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 blah, or a 40-something-year-old woman who think. I'd be like, for okay, that's all I got now. Okay.
But like I was saying earlier, what do age have to do with a lot of things? And like I say, you know what, the word adult, that don't come with an age. You know what I mean? That come with a mindset and a maturity. So you could be a 47-year-old kid. I mean, still thinking like a kid. So again, the journey that that we have to choose to take to become adults, to become more wise, that's all choice. And some people ain't made that choice. You
Yeah,
know
I'm
what I
really
mean?
not fucking with them though, fam. That's what I'm trying to explain
Yeah.
to you. Like
Yeah.
I'm not,
Yeah.
and I think that at this stage in my life, I've earned the choice to not.
Mm-hmm. No, you
You
don't have
you
to.
you understand what I'm saying? And I this is I got a church finger that I'm using to step off of the platform
Mm.
and allow y'all knock yourself out. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
it. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Don't get
well,
me wrong. Now, I'm
what
not gonna
happens?
work to offer you detriment. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
work to make the things that you're doing counterproductive. I'm sure not gonna sit on the sideline and be like, I told you already, fam. It's not gonna work. I'm not that person. I'll cheer you right along. You know what I'm saying? And I pray that maybe your voice is the one that they listen to. Maybe
Well,
her voice is the one that they'll hold on to, or that push that they need. I pray that that's the case.
well. That's the thing, though. The voice is not to be silenced. because like I say, I mean, you're gonna speak it regardless anyway. The work is just continuing, and evolving. And you know what? They may hear my voice, they may hear yours, they may hear hers, they may hear his, but we all got to sound in unison. We all got to be speaking something of the same sort, and it has to be repeated. It's just like marketing. They sometimes they do got to hear it 5 to 6, 7 times before they subscribe to it. But let's make sure that they got it. Let's make sure that we don't silence our voice. Just you know what I'm saying. Just we just have to back up on the expectation. You know what I mean?
And
So
you
that
said just let's just make sure. See, when you said that right there, I just was like, I
we can
feel
do
you.
that. That's what.
I
But
feel
that's what
you.
I'm saying.
I'm
It's
like,
not something. It's not. It's not something that. It's not something that is work. And that's what I'm saying. With people that is natural to, they gonna do it anyway. It ain't even got to be a platform. You ain't even got to structurally do anything. You know what I mean? Just kind of like what happened with, when I did the thing with Montreal. It's like, you know what? It's just gonna happen anyway. Whether I mean, I've done that a zillion times. That one was just caught on camera. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to happen anyway because it's the people we are,
I understand what you're saying.
and we just just got to continue our work. And as people try, continue and evolve and take the baton from us and continue to run the race at full speed, even though we may be slowing down, the work is still being done.
I'm
The
glad
work
that
is still being done.
I'm glad that the work is being done. I'm glad that the rest of
Yeah.
the world has not decided to lay on the beach with my ties and say and just catch the sun. I am because I mean
Hey, now
I'm
you just
glad that
preaching with a mata.
you know what I'm saying.
See, you just doing
I'm
it with a
really excited
mata in
about
your
that.
hand
I'm glad that you guys
now.
have really been like you still got that fire, that vigor. You know what I'm saying. And then I pray that whatever aspect that I continue this part of my journey in
Right,
offering wellness into people and
right.
offering teaching this stage or whatever. I pray that my part does its job. But I'm telling you, the part that you was doing, the work that they is
Mhm.
doing,
Yeah.
I'm pretty much done with that, fam.
And
And it's not
then
big. And you
okay,
know
the
what? And it's
spoiling part of the
yeah,
topic though
yeah,
was like
spoiling it.
crazy. The spoiling.
Let's talk
See, now
about
the
that. How
spoiling part is the part that makes that cringe.
why? Because it's ruining them.
Well, they got to understand what the root word spoil mean. What do spoil mean?
But that's the understanding the root word of all the words, though. You can't just pick
You
and
know?
choose the words
No,
you're
no,
gonna
no,
go in
no,
the
no,
root
no. You got to
word
pick a
to.
lot of the root words of a lot of things. And like I say, our language, with the English language, you know what I mean? Like some of the words that we do use is like, bro, you don't know what we've been doing. Even the kid word, like we are not kids. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a goat. You know what I mean? Like, and they act crazy. We act wonder why. Like we just call them ghosts their whole life.
Their
You
whole
know,
life.
and
Their whole life. That's why, and I try really hard to say children. You know what I'm saying? Or
yeah,
that child. Like
it's
I
hard
work
because it's
really
a
hard.
reprogramming.
I really work. That's what So I'll be like, and people's children, and you know what I'm saying. But I'd be like, I can't. Okay, so
Yeah,
let's talk about spoil, spare the rod, spare. So we think that if we spare the discipline, spare the structure, spare the not necessarily physical abuse, but effective discipline, then we are spoiling. Let's talk about that word, spoiling the child, as the statement say. What did you
anything,
let's address that?
anything that's spoiled is no longer good. Anything that's spoiled is no longer good. And a lot of times I hear a lot of other parents be like, "I'm spoiling my kids. I give them whatever they want. They ain't never got a want for. They gonna have everything I didn't have." Woo. And then a lot of times when these kids start feeling entitled, when they think that everybody's supposed to give them something, do something for them, and they ain't got to work for nothing, that's because we spoiled them.
You know how
And
many
now,
kids, young people I heard say, "I don't want to work."
no, I just want some money. And if you let them tell, I want some money, but they don't want to work for it.
Well, how you gonna get
I
the
mean,
money?
oh no, I don't know, but because that's why they can't even figure out what they want to do in life because everything was just given to them. And that part is what cringes me, is that no, don't spoil your children. And even if you're an adult and you know that you wasn't spoiled, but you got to look at yourself and think about all the strength, values, determination, will, just all of that's inside of you, and you're a good person. So why would you want to hold that away from your child? Oh, because it was hard, because it wasn't easy, because you have to go through something, and you like, oh, I don't want them to go through nothing. But then how they
To
gonna
go
ever
through
learn?
nothing? Not to go through nothing? No. Okay, let me. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, they gonna go through something, but you know what I mean. But like,
That's what I'm saying, though. They need to go through something.
they got to be prepared. How you prepare them for a battle if they've never went to training? because now you sending your child off into the world with no training, and now he got to battle for themselves.
And then you be mad because they don't get it right. How you
And
mad? Because you didn't.
come
I'm
on.
sorry. I'm
So
sorry.
so you see how this leads. We see how this whole trail of dang.
That
You
gave
know
me
what
a
I
whole
mean?
headache real fast. I'm sorry. This
Right.
thing.
Because this discipline needs to happen. I mean, like I said, I'm not even saying beat your child. I ain't saying beat your child. I said effective discipline. So yeah, some children that might be a conversation. Some children that might be write this word 100 times. Some children that might be, you know what? Let me sit you down so you can think about it. Some children that might be, you know what? Let me take something away from you. You know, whatever that effective discipline may be, you got to just make sure that it's being effective and not just, oh, I did something, but what you do really get the
Right. What was the
message
lesson
across?
what was the lesson?
Yeah.
Exactly. There has to be a lesson gained when you offer
Yeah.
a consequence. You feel what I'm saying? This is discipline because there was a oh my gosh, there's a consequence that needs to be, you know what I'm saying? A lesson associated with the consequence. Not just a consequence on GP. You know what I'm saying? You don't
Right.
necessarily nobody just want to bite their tongue. What the fuck?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like what do you what I just wish, like literally, that, like, I mean, people say, make when you say statements like, when something is spoiled, it's no longer good. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay. But then you got people who say stupid shit like, and this is so mean. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna get my life together. People who say stuff like sour cream. You know what I'm saying? When they got sour cream, but sour cream spoils too, though, fam. You know what I'm saying? Like it does too. Then just trying to grasp the concept that, you know what I'm saying? How do we, I guess you just got to keep doing it. No,
Okay.
I just
Okay.
answered. It just answered
I
myself.
got a question for you.
Yeah.
Now, have we Googled or defined the lesson the meaning of spoiled?
Not on this show, but yeah.
Okay. I have it right here. Now
Okay.
let's think about this. It's spoiled. The first word is harmed.
Mm-hmm.
It says harmed in character by being treated too leniently. This is the
It says
definition.
spoil
This is
an
the
additive of a person,
this is the
especially a child.
definition of spoiled. Harmed in character by being treated too leniently.
So are you saying, bum, 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 that there needs, like, we need structure, we need discipline, we need those things to not be
If you
harmed?
if you want to spoil your child, you harm them. Harmed in their character.
That's the whole thing right there. That's the line right there, D. That's it right there. That's it right there. Harmed in character. In character, we start talking about where the flaws come from in the whole IDGAF energy. These
Mm-hmm.
they harmed in a character. Those that just burn your little soul up.
Mm-hmm.
It do. That's why I be like, fuck them kids.
And 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 then this is what we and then let's think about it like this. Have you ever been in a store, grocery store, any type of store, and you seen a kid have a whole temper tantrum?
Yeah.
You like that kid is spoiled.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went home to say, I want to do that to mine. I want to spoil mine.
So I guess, is there a line that to be drawn for that? Like how?
It's
Like,
def-
we not talk. I mean, we know that there's no book for parenting. We understand that. You know what I'm saying? But how do you determine, like, what's too much? Like, I know you heard the story about the boy who tried to kill his mama because she took his cell phone.
uh-uh.
You like, and his whole line
Oh,
was, she shouldn't have took my phone. She
she
shouldn't have
shouldn't have
took
took his
my
phone.
she shouldn't have took my phone. So okay. You understand what I'm
Wow.
saying? Like
Right.
literally, he literally tried to kill her.
Mm-hmm. He felt entitled to.
Like, you gonna take her life because she
She
took your
didn't get
cell phone. Okay. And of course we know there's thousands of layers beneath that. But if
thousands of layers.
you know
Absolutely.
you understand what I'm saying? But if that's the go to in the punchline, what are we doing? How are we failing our children so terribly? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like when these children, like when people are dying in these accidents around the city. Let's just address some of that real quick. Like they folks is driving like they in the Indies. Okay, in
Mm-hmm.
on side and public streets, highly populated areas, because they think they got it. Okay, like that's it. I got it. I got it. I can do it. I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you don't have it,
Mm-mm.
like I remember quite a few years back, some of my niece and my nephew's high school friends was driving down Capitol and they hit that tree just off of 16th. Split the car in half, and both of the
Oh yeah,
brothers
yeah,
passed
yeah,
away.
yeah. I seen that. Yeah, I remember that.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Because they
Mm-hmm.
thought they had it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like they're not like this generation is not even learning from those type of errors.
Mm-mm.
You understand what I'm saying? Like they're not a this whole generation is well, I'm gonna see for myself.
Yeah.
Like a whole generation of I'm gonna see for myself. Like the
Mm-hmm.
young man who was driving down center. You speeding down center in front of a school and a church and rolled over all of those children.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, and none of that's possible for you. The young man that was driving down 60th Street across Capitol and hit that hill right before you get to the hill. You know what I'm talking about? It's a hill
Mm-hmm.
right before you make that dip. And his
Mm-hmm.
car landed on top of the car with that girl threw her baby, and her friend out the car.
Right.
Like, so this is where I guess what I'm using these as examples, not so much just like the drug thing. We can talk about that as a whole nother story, but just behaviorals that this, if you do this, this happens. Like, how is
Mm-hmm.
that not being absorbed? Like, how are we failing to teach them absorption of that? Just your thoughts, because I know we don't have all the
My
answers. Just your
thoughts would be
thoughts.
like, you know what? I mean, those individuals. I mean, these young guys got to have a reconsideration or a re-love life. And like I said, there's no respect for human life right now, even within themselves, because you know what, YOLO, and you know what, everybody got to go, and you know what, it's just it is what it is, and all these little cliches and all this stuff that what sends the wrong messages. So
Wow.
it has to be a re-love, a reason to live again, a reason to, and that's what we want to try to give as we try to be examples within ourselves, is try to give them other reasons that let's not do that, because this is you have a reason to live, and that's what needs to be established. Because if you talk to them, they're like, man, I don't care if I live or I die.
So what you just said to me kind of like struck my heart a little bit. Might have poked me a little bit in a good way. And you said that you want to, instead of teaching them that they have a reason to not die. So instead of focusing on not dying, you teaching
Mm-hmm.
them to focus on living.
And living.
And what that looks like, because you got to think, in
Mm-hmm.
our generation, I'll scarcely include you in that generation, young man on the other end. You know what I'm saying? In our generation, folks was like, if you live to be if you live to be what, 21, you was winning.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you understand what I'm saying?
I was in the '70s still though, so I'm in that era.
I said scarcely. I did include you. I wasn't going to, but you right on the end. You know what I'm saying? But so like that your whole generation was not expected to, like, your life expectancy of the generation that you are a part of was low. And y'all
Yeah,
beat the odds. A lot of y'all beat the odds.
they told us 21, we was big.
You understand what I'm saying? Like they just assumed that. But
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, your children and your little brothers and sisters, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Because it's right
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the end of y'all parents, and right, because the phase where I'm at, whatever. As far as the age range go, it's those children who aren't making it to 21, who
Right.
aren't making it. Like, it's that hurts so much. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's those babies that's not surviving. You know what I'm saying? Like, what happened that was okay?
No one said it was okay. It's just what's happening. And because of, unfortunately, due to some of the history, that's what's happening. We wish it wasn't happening, but it is happening. We It's unfortunate. It's just unfortunate.
Did you see that meme where that man said, and I don't have to, I don't know it verbatim, so just bear with me, where he said my grandfather walked to work.
Mhm.
His son drove. I'm gonna just make up names of cars. I don't know which is more expensive or fancy. Okay, his
Mhm.
son drove a Cadillac.
Mhm.
I drove a Ferrari.
Mhm.
My son will drive. I don't know, a Tesla. I'm just making the names. I don't know. Okay,
Mhm.
but his son will walk.
Mhm.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then so basically, it was saying that struggle makes for progress, but the progress makes it so that they end up struggling again. I'm paraphrasing the cycle. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And like
Mhm.
when I saw that, I had like watched it over and over and over again because I was like, so you telling me that because your grandfather struggled, he made it so that you wouldn't have to, and because you treated your children with the inability to be self-sustaining because you gave them too much, you spoiled them too hard. Now your grandchildren or their children, you understand what I'm saying? Because it's a cycle of I'm shortening it up a little bit, whatever. Will be in the same struggle again, and it'll perpetuate the cycle.
Yeah.
Like? Is that? Do you believe that that's a legit cycle, or is that where we are now?
I don't know.
But you catch the cycle though. And I know it's a little
Yeah.
paraphrase, but you catch what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. I get it. Yeah. Scary. Again,
Wow.
it's just it's super scary.
Hmm.
It's just crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That I mean, it's very disheartening, and I wish the best for the generations to come. You know what I mean? And as I look my senior years in the face, uh, I'm thankful for the time that I have been able to pour into or invest or love or and into children and adult the same. You know what I mean? And I'm also repeatedly thankful to, again, all of the organizations that I mentioned earlier, as they are making their way to try to sow these seeds into this generation that's coming up. Like there's the gap of the generation that's and I don't want to say broken, but that's hurting and that's requiring so much more um than their children. Like it's like their kids though are amazing.
Mm.
Have you noticed that?
Um. Kinda.
You understand what I'm saying? Like there's and like their kids and their younger siblings. Like it's a
You said
whole
you
other
said
thing.
their kids. Their kids and who?
And their children, like the
Hmm.
generation that's hurting. And
Hmm.
I'm because I don't want to say that they messed up or because they not messed up. They're reacting to the lessons that they've learned or did not. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So
Right.
I
Right.
don't
Right.
want to
It's
say
not. It's
that.
right, and it's not all of them.
Right, it's not all. You know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
their children
Yeah.
are phenomenal. Do you understand what I'm saying? You see this generate how that generation? Yeah, they're the generation that is with um Lil D.
Okay, with Devon.
Yeah.
Okay.
So their generation.
Well, that's the scary part. Because what you're doing is you're trying to figure out how they finna turn out.
At this point, I'm nervous because they so brilliant.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying?
Uh,
Like they're so brilliant, but they
and I
have.
wouldn't take that away from even the generation that you're talking about. It's just that they was brilliant, but they didn't have no outlet.
When you
What
say
I'm gonna
no
do with
outlet,
this?
what you gonna do with
Well,
it?
it's like, okay, if there's a lot of these children that we talked to 10 years ago who wasn't on a lot of the stuff that they own now. As time and responsibility and growing up happened, then you be like, what happened? You know what I mean? That's what we asking. Like, what happened? Like, you was so good when you was coming to the center. You was so good in school. What happened? Well, out there, the resources wasn't there, and I had great hopes, but then life started hitting me. I started needing a place to live. I needed some money. I needed, what I mean. And now, it was great that I was good when I didn't have any responsibilities.
Mm. I'm glad to hear you say that. Charlotte and I were having this conversation from UG. She and
Mm-hmm.
I were having a conversation about what happens to the children. Like, no, it's not what happened to about making not repairs, but making a way or helping those children. The same one we're talking about, who they were saying, we spend all this youth development program and these youth development dollars till they get 18.
Right.
And then we be like, okay, then see you later.
See you later.
And they like,
And no
what? Wait a
resources, no
minute.
way to go, no
Nothing.
nothing.
So we were talking about trying to find the resources and put and implement some assistance for that age group. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying? For that one, that's where the deficit come in at.
Well, I mean, I think it came in for everyone who had to cross that 18-year-old barrier. Let's just think about it. Like, yeah, great. You gave me all this determination, but now you sent me off to the world where I can't live anymore, because as a kid I could live because I had a responsibility, but now I have to survive.
Understood.
So now it ain't a living mentality, it ain't a carefree mentality. Now I must live. And for someone who crossing from, my mama, or even if, whoever used to do everything for me, to now I gotta survive.
Yeah.
I didn't even get a chance to enjoy. I didn't get a chance to live. I didn't get a chance to be free. I didn't get a chance to explore. Now I have to survive. And survive is almost like desperation.
That's like the and that all of that together is disheartening. Cora Kionis Barnes said, if my children's generation does not teach or give their children access to the ways to financial freedom, they are doomed to a life of struggle.
Yes. They're surviving. That's all they're doing, is trying to survive.
So is that not what you do when it comes to legal money business, or when you do to like, so that kind of just segues right into this is how we're helping entrepreneurs or striving entrepreneurs tap
Yeah.
into these resources.
Yeah, man. Give these kids the information. Let them evolve the culture. Give them the tools. Let's stop holding it back, thinking that there's a lack of, or they're gonna get in the way of. Get them, kids the tools to be able to live, so they don't have to keep just surviving.
You said the lack of that, so they can be in the way of. I'm gonna tell you, I want them to get in the way so that I can't survive, but I want them to get in the way. Do you know how amazing the implementation of all the things that we want, that all the things, like our parents only dreamed to be able to do what Gen X did.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Gen Z
Mm-hmm.
is showing out based on
Mm-hmm.
what and elevating what Gen X did. You get what I'm saying? And these next kids, man, they're crazy brilliant,
Come on, right.
like crazy brilliant, but they are
So
lacking
now
the.
think about if how crazy it would be if they had the tools, the
So
resources,
this
the
is what I'm
financing,
saying. And so,
access to capital.
but also, um, the emotional maturity. You get what I'm saying? And the
Mhm.
the the wellness in that capacity also. Like teaching these children about understanding these lines of morality, understanding the lines of social acceptance, and within the parameters of not giving up who you are, but understanding that there are boundaries in place for a reason. You know what I mean? You
Mhm.
can't just blah blah blah. You can't just blah blah blah. And people are saying all the time, like the young man that tried to rob the gentleman at his house and he got shot. And people are on this man. Why did you shoot this quote unquote kid? He was like, he not only was he in my car, You know what I'm saying? He was like he was pointing a weapon at me. I was defending myself, but he was just a kid. So how do we, you know what I'm saying? How do we understand where do we draw that line? How do you draw that line?
I have some friends who've been in the army,
Mhm.
and I asked them questions about being in combat, and I had one friend who told me, he was overseas, and they had to go into this village, and they was on a mission for something, and he ended up facing it was end up being in the face of a kid who had an AK-47 pointed at him. And he said the kid had to be no more than 10 years old. What do you think the army tell him to do?
Shoot that baby.
It's either him or you.
It's
And
either
that's what
him
they
or you.
said. And for that man who had to protect himself, honestly, that would be my same answer. Because like I say, you don't know what you're dealing with, and especially if somebody has a dangerous weapon that could, take you off
Yeah,
the
take you off
planet.
the planet, exactly.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry, but you know, um, you know,
So now we're talking about survival again.
now survival.
Now it's
What I mean?
survival
That
again.
man had to survive. I mean, he had to survive. That's what he was faced with: survival, or maybe just he can kill me and maybe he'll get it later in life. Man,
Wow. Wow. This has been a great conversation, sir. I appreciate you.
yeah, I gotta go get the kid from school before I
Mhm.
don't be a parent.
Exactly. Exactly. You see, I looked at that. You see, I wrapped it up as soon as I seen the time. I was like, all right then. Look, all right then, sir. Thank you for your time.
No problem. It's time for kid pickup.
hmm Yeah, I just, you know what I'm saying? I thank you for your fervor and for, you know what I'm saying, your zeal. You know what I'm saying? It's always an offset. Like when I'm like, I'm done, you be like, okay, you only for now. You can be done
Right.
for now. You can be done for now. Okay, okay.
Mhm.
You could take a break. Okay, okay. You get what I'm saying? It's always an offset. I get it. You know what I mean? And shout out to D Rock who is dealing with it every day. You get what I'm saying? We're
Mhm.
in his job. You know what I mean? And anybody else that is working with the youth. You know what I mean? My heart goes out to you, and I keep you in my prayers because you just never know. You just never
Yeah.
know, and I pray that you keep the heart and the spirit to press through because they do need it. They do need it. Just TT Tree tired. TT Tree, she tired. I don't want y'all to spoil y'all children. I want y'all to not spoil your children. I don't want you to mistreat your children. I don't want you to neglect your children. I don't want you to take your children and make them suffer through, but I want you to teach them responsibility. You can teach your children appreciation and responsibility without making them endure hardships. You can teach you can be taught that. However, some people feel like they're gonna know no struggle. Then they're gonna know
Mhm.
no lessons on what that's like. Like life needs balance. Yin and yang is there for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And the more you teach them the understanding of both, you know what I'm saying, then they will not be dominated by either. And that is the goal. That is
Mhm.
that is the goal. To be dominated by either. Walking around here with rose-colored glasses on and thinking that world is full of sunshine and daisies because it ain't. Or walking
Mm-mm.
around here thinking that it's all black orchids. It's not. There is a smooth space in between there, and we should find a better way more frequently to spend some time there. And I thank you for your time today. Let's talk about the early morning show really quick. Can you give me a plug real quick?
Good morning, Oliver. Each and every morning, 6 a.m. We help you control your energy to control your life. Today we talked about one day or day one,
Mm.
and today was just um, a decision to say, hey, are you gonna keep saying one day, one day, one day I'm gonna do it, one day I'm gonna do better, one day I'm gonna get my stuff together, one day, or are you gonna make this day one of actually making that happen? And, a lot of times we look for imaginary or illusional situations that happen before we quote unquote start, but end up becoming internal excuses and hiding from our greatness. So the early bird morning show, like I said, it's a way to personally be able to look at yourself and develop some of the inner parts before we go out into the world and get all those outer parts and start taking care of obligations and responsibilities for other people. We have to take care of that for ourselves first, and internally, and look at ourselves, and fill ourselves up with some goodness, and some and understanding that we do have choice, and not everything is just left as is how life is, because it's not. Life is to be designed, and the best way to predict your future is to build it.
That's facts. I like that. The best way to predict your future is to build it. But I like it. I like it. So what do you
Mhm.
watch the morning show is where? How do they
So
watch?
every morning on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram Live. Every morning, 6 a.m., Monday through Friday. And each day we have a theme. So today was Motivation Monday. Tomorrow's Transformation Tuesday. We got Warrior Wednesday, Thankful Thursday, and Freedom Fridays. So each day we have a different lesson, a different subject, that touches on just some internal things, so that we ain't blaming nobody else. We ain't looking out the window. We more looking at what it is that we can do to change the situations in our own life. And that's what the show is about, man. And I encourage everyone to tune in and chime in, because this is a community of positive growth. So it's each and everybody who's adding fertilizer and water to each other's seed, so that we all can grow together.
Indeed. So, and then you leave the videos up just in case somebody is unable to make it at 6 o'clock. Then they can watch them and reference it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Go get your rewind on. Go get your you know what? I missed that episode, and you know what? Go back and watch. I'm sure that each and every episode you'll find something more and more interesting, and discover more and more even about ourselves. So I encourage you. Thank you. And make sure that you guys tune in.
We are, but I got one other thing for you because I forgot to ask, and I'm trying to find it right now. So you're doing these like free explorers? Is it explorer session?
My exploration session.
And what is
Yes.
okay? What is that?
Exploration session is where as far as LMBN, for anybody who's looking to get a little help, or and try to help and need help discovering their passion, their gift, or how to level up their business, want to get into anybody who's looking for success, and whatever success really means to them. So the exploration session, like I said, we sit, we talk, we find out, and we come up with a game plan on how to make all your dreams a reality. And if you have a passion, how to turn that into a profit, or or just to find the ultimate version of who you are. So the exploration sessions are, I mean, they've just been wonderful. I just launched about 2 weeks ago, and man, I've been having a lot of sessions, and the things that people find out about themselves and business, and where they can actually be and grow. Man, man, it's been very exciting for me. I'm happy to be able to provide this type of service, and I'm just looking to do more and more and more.
Indeed, indeed, and that is on lmbn.net.
lmbn.net. Just go right. It's right at the top. Exploration session. It's free. It's a free session. Just so that you can get a test drive on, what it is that I provide, what it is that our team provides, and how we can just better help you. And it doesn't cost you nothing to find that out.
Excellent, excellent. So, on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram, Devon D,
Absolutely.
and for
Divine
the
D,
early bird morning show, and then lmbn.net for the free explorer session.
exploration. So
Okay,
absolutely.
excellent, excellent. All right, then go get my baby.
The world is watching.
All right, have a great one, D. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate you.
Yep.
Bye bye. I ain't gonna tell you how I'd be glad. Shout out to Facebook user with the fires. I appreciate you. Auntie Cora has said, if my children's generation does not teach or give their children access to ways to financial freedom, they are doomed to a life of struggling. That is so disheartening, but facts. She also said, unfortunately, my parents were providers, but not necessarily, but didn't necessarily push us to be anything more than that. I would love to know, Auntie Cora, like, how did you manifest that into, like, being such the phenomenal person that you are? Like, I know you personally, so I know that you are definitely more than a provider. You are inspirational. You are uplifting. You're spirited. You got a go getter spirit. You know what I'm saying? There's so much to you that's amazing. You know what I'm saying? And so full of love. Like, so if you would like to share a little bit more of that, that would be awesome. Like, how did you take that information that you were given, and being of the generation that we were talking about, not this generation, but the generation's generation that we were talking about, and we were just talking about your children's generation, but now to talk about your generation, how did you take that and allow it to manifest you into this like amazing person? Like, what type of personal growth did it require, if any at all? You know, I would like to know that, if you don't mind sharing, like, because, like, we all need something, you know what I mean? But when we think about how we've chosen, or decisions that we've made to improve self, or to improve, just our growth and our individuality, um I only work to continue to do better, day to day, day by day, every day, because I know that there is no one answer, no one perfect resolve um to growth, but just to be better than I was the day before. And I don't strive to be better than other people. I just strive to be better than I was the day before, to be less frustrated. You know what I'm saying? To be less dependent, but to be more available, to be more dependable, to be more understanding, to be more patient. Yes, to be more patient, to be a little to understand peace, to be accepting. And as I'm learning, like, this combination of this quote unquote the way of life in the West, and then understanding these great modalities of Eastern medicine, learning how all this manifests in your body and all the parts, like, to be a whole person, like, you got to take all the knowledge, not only the information from this part and only the information, like, you need all the things, all the availability. So understanding what our bodies do physically, understanding the energies in our bodies, the the flesh, the the spirit, the light, like, all of these things. I want to know every bit and every part of that, so that when I come together to make myself whole, or in the journey to wholeness, I won't be perfect, but I'll have an understanding of what it really means to vibrate higher, what it really means to be in and be and move in peace, and to be understanding, and to be to express gratitude, like a genuine sense of gratitude. I want to know what that looks like. You know what I mean? And not just a series of words. Like, people use the word vibrate higher and misunderstand. Excuse me, not everybody, some people use the word or phrase vibrate higher without the understanding that your body emits frequencies, and all along your body, like, parts of your body is constantly moving, constantly growing, constantly changing, like, to a frequency your naked ear can't hear it. Like, why do you think your cells are constantly falling off? Something is happening. Your body is constantly in motion. Something is constantly happening, like, for your entire life. And now it's slowing down as we get older, but it's still moving. And those vibrations, the movement produces sound. We know this, right? So there's a frequency that even your naked ear may not be able to hear, that is often not in alignment, and vibrating higher just simply states that these frequencies are in tune, literally in tune, almost like an instrument. It's such a beautiful thing the Most High did when He created us. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a rhythm. The body, the rhythm, all these languages that talk about bodies and rhythm and motion and frequencies and the energy. Like, oh my gosh, it's such a beautiful thing. Like, God was showing out. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that is my belief. I believe in God. And I believe that as a creator, He showed out. We just we understand. Like, You know what I'm saying? Like we don't grasp deeply enough of what is available because we only access part of the information. Like we only take these words or these sounds or these feels. Like there's Eastern medicine and there's Western medicine for a reason. Like you can't just have a whole other medical system that work on only some of the people. You follow what I'm saying? It's a whole situation that works and it all works together. Hello, Kenya. How are you? So good to see you communicating. What's up, sis? How you doing? You understand? Like, imagine how amazing of an understanding you could have, or doctors around the world could have, if they had a dual understanding um of all the medicines, or multiple understandings of all of them. We said not said dual because I initially referenced Eastern and Western, but imagine what that would do. How our bodies would be in connected to a possibility of joy, of wellness. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like if you could do the physical flesh part and manifest the energies, come on. I want it all. I want to be well in all capacities. Oh, I miss your face. Fam, y'all know I'm sensitive. You can't be in no air saying no stuff like that. Anyway, let me get it together real quick. Woo! Yes, yes, yes. Okay, let me get my life together right quick. Let me see if I just posted on my wall. Ooh. He posted the word spoiled. Spoiled food has to be thrown away. According to the definition of spoiled, it's even harm to children's character. Why do people spoil, quote unquote, their children? Is this where the entitlement feeling comes from? As he listed the definition of spoiled. Baby, do you feel me? Do you feel me? I just like I know that we all develop in our own time, and nobody is to be identical. Like, I don't want you to be like me. I just want you to be the best version of you possible. Like, and that's a whole thing. One that's not into manipulating people, one that's not into taking advantage of an opportunity that would cause or could cause hurt, harm, or danger. Like, want something bigger or better or more than the opportunity to cause detriment at any cost of or causing, excuse me, to gain success at the cost of detriment. Like, that's all bad karma. Like, it legitimately is all bad karma. Now, I done said earlier, and I know that my idea of gathering up the people with the big magnet and putting them into the space and then figuring out what to do with them later, it's not the greatest concept of how to deal with people. When you tired, you tired, and I'm tired. And I'm just trying to explain that. However, I wish there was a button that we could push that could tap into um just a place of understanding where we can draw a line of consideration for one another. Like, it's not hard to be considerate of somebody. The difficulty is the fear that comes along with being taken advantage of, whether you have been or you've seen others be taken advantage of and manipulated. So you want to be the first to get, you want to be the first to attack, the first to draw, to first to to go out and make it so you doing it to people so it doesn't happen to you first. Like, I can tell you all day that it don't make no sense, but somebody that seen the ugly monster in his face, that only makes sense. I'ma do people before they do me. I'ma get y'all before y'all get me, or I'ma not care and I'ma live my life with no care before my life is over, even though that could be in 50, 60, 70, 80 years. You get what I'm saying? You live every day and afraid of what could be, instead of honoring what is. And that's just so disheartening. I think Devon said in earlier, and he mentioned it in his early bird show, like, this is a present, a gift that no one is guaranteed. Not a moment. Not a moment. Not an hour, not a second, not a moment is guaranteed. How could you live these moments, these times in a way so reckless that it would cause detriment to someone you say you love? Like your mom, your grandma, your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, your sisters, your brothers. Like, don't you think about them when you get like? I'm all about taking care of self. I'm all about being well so that you can take care of those that you care about. I'm all for that. But at some point in time, while you're doing all of the things, taking care of all of the things, manifesting all of the things, just tearing up all of this shit because you want to be out here living la vida loca, do you consider if I die, the hurt and the pain that my absence is going to cause, the trauma of the way that I died or the way that I ended not just my life, someone else's life? Do you consider that? Where is your humanity? Why are we not teaching our children to appeal to humanity? I know that there's a fear that exists when you're protecting yourself from the things that you've been through, protecting yourself from what you've seen others go. I get it. But it's so much more peaceful. I know that people have gone through some awful things in their lives. Someone has hurt you. Someone has not defended you. Someone let someone hurt you. Someone took advantage of you. Some of the things were big and some of them were small enough, but big enough to cause the pain of heartache or discontentment or abuse. Is so real. It's so real. Like, it's deafening. It's deafening. And it'll make you feel like you are dying on the inside. I understand. Like, the pain is so unbearable. It can literally drive you crazy. But there is healing available for that. There is a way. There is a way to get past and through and over and beyond some of those types of pain. There is a way to soothe that aching in your heart that doesn't require blowing up half the city, tearing down others. You understand? There's a way to make it happen. And I know the way is not for everybody. The same way it's not for everybody. I get that too. But damn, take the time to tell your children you love them, that you value them. And not just when it's too late and they losing their shit around the city and when they grown and they being abusive husbands or boyfriends, or when your daughters are cutting or just tossing themselves away physically, emotionally, mentally, and emotionally. Do it before then. Do it before then. I know we got to take care of ourselves, but we got to prioritize when to take care of and how to take care of. And I know it ain't no rule book. Do better, y'all. Do better. Take a moment. Look at the situation. Listen way more than you talk. way more than you talk. Listen. It's not hard to take a moment to take in some of those words, to ask questions so that you can be clear, to not purposely embarrass, ridicule, or embarrass or ridicule somebody because you don't think like they think. They don't think like you, or you try to tell them and they don't grasp it the same way. We all learn. We talk about that in school every day. Nobody, we talked about it in school when we was coming up, and y'all in school, y'all kids in school. All children don't learn the same. All people don't learn the same. The lessons have to be given so that the person that's learning can grasp. As the communicator, as the teacher, you are responsible to make sure that the lesson is learned. These babies out here dying, y'all. And when I say babies, I mean mentally and emotionally underdeveloped people. Not based on age. Mentally and emotionally underdeveloped people, they out here dying. And it don't have to be like that. It doesn't have to be like that. It's not There's so many other things that could be done. There's so many other ways. So many. If you are a single parent, you are not required to parent alone. There is no book for parenting. Ask questions. Trial and error. Listen, because children are people and they can say, I don't like that. That hurts. This not comfortable. Can we try something different? And it won't sound like that because until you teach them that that's how they communicate. You're killing me. You're killing me. Let me see what you got here, Auntie Corey. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's see. Auntie Cora said you are so sweet. I've always had a passion for people, sometimes to a fault, but that's what helps me to be me. I used to think I missed out on being someone great, but I believe that not everyone was placed here to sit on top of the world. Some of us are in place to help boost others. I've used my life lessons, and there have been many, as learning tools. I have a few life regrets, but so many more wonderful life experiences that have shaped the me that I've learned to love. I hope I'm not missing some of that. I don't know how much of that I can get on here. I'm gonna see if it'll let me pull it up on another on the other app. Auntie Cora, you the bomb. I'm just saying. I'm saying it. I mean it. You the whole bomb. Every bit of it. Every bit of it. Yes, ma'am. Like some people just amazing, and that would be you. Let me try to find this piece really quickly and see if I can see it. I'm not sure where you posted it at. It's probably on my page. So if you just bear with me, I'm gonna go and see if I missed the last part of what you posted. Um, yeah, I just wanna like as much as I be wanting to be like, I, everybody can just kick rocks. Like my heart of hearts be like, girl, shut up. You do not mean that. I do be meaning it, but not really. But I do be meaning it, but not really. I think I found it. Let me see. Okay, she says, the last line of it is, I have a few life regrets, but so many more wonderful life experiences that have shaped the me, quote unquote, that I've learned to love, the great me. Facts. And Auntie Rita said, she aight. Oh, I love y'all. I love y'all. She aight. Nice. It's always good to be able to have these types of conversations. Spare the rod, spoil the child. I I will forever stand by that statement. Forever. And rod, people assume when we say rod that we are automatically assuming physical discipline, spankings, whoopings, ass beatings, however you want to put it. But we are, the divine said it perfectly, effective discipline. What is effective for this human, this person? What is effective to opt them into a path of wellness, good decision making, choices, things like that? What is the best way to make it so that they are learning that? Like, is that not the goal of a parent, to be able to teach their children how to be good people, how to survive in this life? And I know that everybody ain't a good parent. I know. But even an effed up parent, don't you want to at least teach your child how to survive? No, some people don't. Okay, I know. My bad. But that's why I be feeling when I'm feeling. I be saying when I be saying about scooping people up and tossing them into the hills. Just scoop them up. Just scoop them up and toss them off into the hills. Then, oh, I don't mean that. I do. Kinda. 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 Look at y'all. Yes, I love y'all. You understand what I'm saying? We just got to do better as a whole. Like, people always say, with like all these new memes and all these TikToks and all these things, people say, "Why you minding my business? Who tending to yours?" If your business is bleeding off into mine, this is my business. Just straight up. Now we got to shut down the lines. Once your business has crossed into my well being, guess what? Guess what? You've officially made it my business. You officially made it so that I need to know exactly what's happening over here. Over here. Because you bled all over my stuff. You made your stuff in my space. And because you opted to do that, you welcomed me in to this decision making process. Now I know everybody ain't gonna agree with that. I don't care. Oh, come on now, 47. Yes, we don't care. that you feel like you can do whatever you want to do. You can, as long as it don't bother other people. Knock yourself out. Or understand that there are consequences that come along with that. Facts. All of the facts. They ain't all big consequences, but there are some. They might not all be big consequences, but there are some. What do you do with that? What do you do about that? How do you engage that? How do you set that structure? What does it look like? Because I'm gonna tell you. Tired. Just tired. As you guys are preparing for your holiday season, spending time with your family, and those of you gonna assault the fact that it's a secular celebration and ways for people to manipulate money out the system, and the man is trying to do whomever. What are you doing for the holiday season? This coming part of the holiday season, as we approach the tail end of all these festive family gathering celebrations. What do you guys got planned? I know what I'm doing. Auntie Cora, I'm gonna. If you are you still there? Before I say this out loud, are you still there? Let me know if you're still there. Let me know if you're still there. I know it's gonna be like 2 minutes before you get this message, but so I'm gonna wait. If you let me know you're still there, I have something announcement to make. Hmm. So, those of you know that on Sunday, I am going to be honored at the MKE OMG Awards. I'm pretty nervous about that. I'm excited, but I'm also nervous to be honored for my commitment to success and my commitment for grinding. I appreciate it every last bit of it, from JPA Elevated. Oh, let me back up. From Ugly Who to Live with Just Patrice, JPA Elevated Headboard Conversations, Calm Wellness Services, and then the Love My Tatas campaign. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, I try to get it in, and not only my stuff, but we gonna talk about Keep a Smile on Your Face, LMBN, The World is Watching. What was it? What was the name of the Advice Multimedia Marketing? Mecca. I can just name all kind of business and organizations and groups that I've either been a part of or that I've helped along the way, and it is just great to have someone say, you know what, I see you. And I'd be like, I'm tired. They'd be like, but you're still moving, and I'm still going. I appreciate that so much. So, Auntie Cora, my table is open. I said this. Please, 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 please. My table is waiting for you. Okay? We had this conversation. I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting. We can wait and please and please. You know what I'm saying? Please and please. Come. Come. It will be an honor. It would be an honor. Please. You have been so amazing, such an awesome support of all of, not just all of my brands, just me as a person. And it would be an honor, an absolute honor for you to allow me to be a part of your wellness journey, to be a part of, um, just let me love on you just one time. Just one time. If you don't want to do it after that, that's fine. Just please, please allow me. That would be great. For the rest of y'all, go to my website and book your appointments. I appreciate it. Yes, I use CBD infused products in my massage services, but I have to try to tell people this all the time. When I got my license, I did not use CBD products. My CBD products is something I decided to add as I create them myself. Why not use them as a service? I was selling them to other massage therapists and other estheticians and other service providers to use in their services. Why would I use them? Why wouldn't I use it in my own? And I am. So I would be an honor if you want to come and book. I'll make sure that the link is available here. My personal website is almost complete. I am currently working on membership structures. I'm going to be able to have memberships to Calm Wellness Services. And starting in January, we are running a wellness series, which I'm super geeked about. Right now, that features Darren Palmer, who is a biofeedback specialist, Melissa Blue, and we're going to talk about sound and healing vibrations, as well as Tasha Wilson, who's going to talk about alkaline eating. I'm going to reach out to a girlfriend of mine who is an herb specialist, and then so many other opportunities that are coming. I'm looking forward to it. If there's something that you would like to have covered, let me know. Something you're interested in as far as wellness goes and healing, or meditation, focus, Western healing. I want to have somebody come in and talk to y'all about needling. I don't do needling, but I believe in understanding the workings of the meridians and what that looks like. So we'll talk about tapping you guys into that as well. To have somebody come in and talk about eat, what you how you engage, all kinds of little different things. And I'm excited to be able to. I think tickets are going to go on sale sooner than later, literally sooner than later, and what that's going to look like for us all. I'm excited. Let me see what else I got to cover before I do. I know I got some commercials to run, but I want to make sure I got everything up and then through here. Let me see if I can get these together real quick, cause y'all know I'll be trying to get my little life together when it comes to. Oh, I did forget a commercial. Shout out to my homegirl Cheryl, who is a realtor. How fly is that, right? Right. All my people's doing so amazing. Like I'm just trying to keep up with y'all. I'm out here trying to get my grind. I'm trying to keep up with y'all. Like what? We can do it. A minute. Here we go. Which commercial is this? Yes. I don't know which one that is, so I think that might be Cheryl. But this is the other one that I didn't get to play, so I'm gonna play this commercial really quick. Thank you for hanging out with me. Stay tuned. I just gotta play this commercial. BlowRadio.com. Welcome to Monday. It's your girl, JustPatrice. We are still in the building, but I'm gonna run this commercial right quick and see what we looking like. Hold tight.
91st and Silver Spring and teach early learning. Lynn Precious Moment on 91st and Silver Spring and Teach Early Learning on 24th and Walnut are open for enrollment. We are also seeking qualified teachers for both locations. If you are passionate about working with children in a fun and exciting workplace where your talents will be appreciated,
That my people are doing such amazing things. Like when you grow, it's so fly. It's so fly. Anyway, shout out to my homegirl, Cheryl McCarter, a real estate agent, Cheryl McCarter, doing her thing. So how are we not excited about that? So I'm about to get ready to get up on out y'all hers and let y'all get back to what it is y'all getting back to, and how we are doing better to not spoil our children, not spoil our children, not not spoil means it's no good anymore. We don't want that. I don't want that for your children. I don't want that for you guys. And then you have to deal with the hurt that comes along. I can't imagine being a mother who has lost connection. And I don't want to use the word control, but directive with your children. Being a father who can't look their children or in the eye, or children or child in the eye, for and offer guidance, or and it be received in respect. I can't imagine what that would be like. And as a youth development worker, for all the years that I had done it, it's only makes sense that we take the time to listen, that we take the time to be available. I know y'all gotta work. I know you gotta work. And you're gonna be a little extra tired. I can only imagine how difficult parenting is when you have to do it with minimal support, let alone alone. But let's make sure that we're taking advantage of all of our resources. Let's make sure that we're being conscious minded to maximize all those engagements, that we are not allowing our pride and or our inability um to move in a space of comfort when we're asking for help. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to not do it by yourself. It's okay. Like, you don't, there's no badge that's created for I did it myself, mom, or I did it myself, dad. There's no badge for that. You don't get a special honor, nothing. A gratitude, especially if they turned out to be productive and quality members of society. Now, that's a thing. I know that y'all, it's not just that they need to be, that they grew up, they need to be productive and quality members of society. Like, that's who you raise, and you are like raising children so that they can survive in they want to live actively and be a part of the community. Don't teach them that they don't have to work. And I don't mean that they don't have to have traditional employment. That's not a requirement, but there is a lesson that comes along with that. And if they don't have traditional employment, there are other things that they need to learn to do. I know that trust is not an easy thing to establish, especially to someone who has been broken, misused, taken advantage of, manipulated, hurt, harmed emotionally and or physically, spiritually. It's a whole thing. I get it. But there is peace on the other side of that healing. There is peace on the other side of your stress. There is peace on the other side of all of that mess. You don't have to stay that way forever. You are not required. At no way, shape, and form are you required to stay in a victimized state of mind. You can choose. You may not know exactly how, but you can choose to seek assistance. And if you're not sure what that looks like, shoot me an inbox. I know some people. And not all the same people do all the same thing, because everybody don't need all the same stuff. Inbox me. Send me an email. I am JustPatrice@gmail.com. I mean, we all need therapy in some capacity. Whether it's a listening ear, whether it's a shoulder, whether it's somebody to show up on our behalves. Now, I'm not going to help you invite nobody into no drama. You understand? But if you seek wellness, if you seek peace, if you are looking for legitimately someone to help in capacities that you're just not sure what that looks like or what you need, it's a whole, it's help for all of that. It's help for all of that. If you are a single parent, you don't have to parent alone. There are resources available to you that don't make you less of a good parent, because you acknowledge the fact that you need these resources and are using them responsibly. That makes you a great parent. Like, phenomenal that you saw a need and was able to act on it. That's a whole thing for somebody to be able to say, you know what? I need this because I need to be best for my children. I need this to be so I can be best for them, so that I can teach them to be great to their children. And they can be great to their children, greater to their children. Because don't you want better for your children than you have for yourself? And better is not always material, not always stuff. Better could simply mean you listen more, you hug more, you say, I love you more, you're more patient, you're more understanding, you're accepting. You offer guidance, you offer discipline, you set structure into place so that they understand that there are boundaries in life. In life, there are boundaries. Like everything, everywhere you go, there are boundaries. There's boundaries on this box. This screen is only so big. You understand what I'm saying? There are. So that we are understanding social parameters. Now, they say the sky's the limit. Some people believe that their floor, their ceiling is their next generation, their legacy's floor. So it just keeps growing and keeps moving. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's a structure required, and not to box you in, to keep you limited. You understand what I'm saying? But for safety, for security, for understanding, for community. There's a structure in place. There are rules and consequences for it better. Not to make it so that, well, I'm gonna put my thumb on your head and you can't have, like, in all of that whole mindset. Set it down somewhere. It's time to learn something new. It's time to accept the fact that, hey, I need to respect you in the same way I need you to respect me. And this is what we need to be teaching our children. I don't care if your children are in their 30s. It's time to teach them that this makes sense. I don't care if they 50, 60 years old. It's time for people to learn that there are societal boundaries in place so that we can understand and make respect for one another, so that we can survive collectively. And when you jeopardize the quality of life of others, there should be consequences. Do you understand? When you do things that intentionally, harmfully, suspiciously, manipulatively upset the quality of life for others, there should be consequences. Now, what those consequences are will determine on what you did. This is not prehistoric days. This is not BC. This is 2021. And some of those restrictions change. You can't even say certain words on Facebook these days, and they blocking that ass. Bam, 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 bam. It's called social integrity. Because you belong to, you are part of this community, and this is how we function over here. It's like being in your mama and your dad's house or your grandma's house, and they say, you cannot blah 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 here, because these are my rules and this is how I want my house to run. Society, when you step outside, there's a whole nother house that you live in. I don't know, it's called the globe, the world, the state. You want to keep coming in, the city, the town. These things are in place so that we all can live well. And when you personally start to infringe upon someone else's quality of life, then you are actively inviting consequence. Nobody wants you to be unhappy. Nobody wants you to be miserable. And nobody wants you to think that it's okay for others to be that way as well. I know everybody don't live like that, but you just thinking like, I'm not, there's nothing rose colored about these glasses, baby. Let me tell you. You just make it so hard to just live. Shout out to Keisha. What's good? What's up, Angie? Hey, Sarah. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? I just wish there was a button that we could just go through the line. I know by the amount of trauma that people have experienced in their lives is just astronomical. When you start literally connecting with different people individually and going through their stuff, you're like, whoa, whoa. I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm sorry that you're experiencing this. And nobody expects you to just wake up and be well one day. Like, I know that shit was fucked up. I tore me apart, and here I am a nobody. I don't expect that. What I hope for, oh, come on now with the hope, is that you want to be well, is that you want to be better, is that you don't want to sit in your misery no more, and that you are done with the pain that you are causing, the pain that is causing you pain. Like, God, you got to be done. You got to want to care. Just tap deep down into your natural human instincts, beyond the fear, beyond the fear, and say, I want better. I want better for me. I want better for my kids. I want better for my kids' kids. And if I don't even have no kids, I want better for the idea of the kids that I could possibly have. I care that my mom don't wake up and hear the terrible news of something happening to me. I care that my sister and my brothers or my aunts and my uncles, my cousins don't have to deal with the consequences of my poor choices. I have the ability to make active and positive and strong and quality decisions, and I'm gonna do that. Don't think that everybody don't get mad. Some folks get so mad they want to pull out all of the automatic weapons and tear this bitch down. That I would probably be one of those people. But I make better choices. I know that ain't sensible. No matter how angry I get, no matter how frustrated or upset or broken I am in the space, I understand, and I know everybody don't have that capacity. I get it. I get it. But for those of you who do, I know you could be afraid all your life. But why? You spend your whole life, the rest of your life, living in fear when you can actively make a decision to choose better environments, to make better choices on the people that you trust. Figure out what that looks like, to ask questions, because sometimes you don't know. It's cool to not know. It's okay if you don't know. Then you start asking questions. Don't feel judged. Don't feel picked on. Don't feel ridiculed because you don't know. Because everybody don't know a whole lot of stuff, man. It's a whole lot of shit I don't know. But what I do know is that I care about the quality of life that I live. My mom, my sister, my nieces, my nephews, my cousins, my friends, they children. Like, I care about that. And just like you are willing to do whatever it takes to secure that they are having a beautiful quality of life, an improved quality of life from the one that I've had, the one that you have, I'm pretty much willing to do wherever that is. Even if it means gathering y'all up at a big vacuum and put you in a little place. I know that ain't nice, but that's how I feel. Like, just gather them up and put them in a little place. And then we'll figure out what to do when we get there. Who is the we? I know that's not nice, Patrice. I know. But the other part of me is like, girl, put their asses in the thing. Just gather them. Then what we gonna do with them? We'll figure it out. Do everybody need to go to jail? Not everybody. Do I believe in capital punishment? Yes. Do I believe everybody deserves it? No, not everybody. And I care before it's my family. I care even when it's not my immediate family. It's not that it's just hitting home because it's close to home. I got friends that's losing people left and right. Shit, I'm losing people left and right. I do not want y'all kids trying to kill y'all because you take their cell phone. Spare the rod, spoil the child. That's a whole word, literally. And the rod, again, is not necessarily a physical manifestation of physical abuse, but effective discipline is necessary, y'all. I want to thank y'all for hanging out with me today. It's been wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I want to tell you how much I love y'all, how much I appreciate your time and compassion. We out here living the vida loca. And next week, I'll have Kathy Ramsey on from Heavenly's Hands Spa. I'm excited about having her come in and we'll see what we're talking about. Until next week, y'all stay safe, stay focused, stay connected, and just try every day to be better than the day you were before. Remember to love on those that you are close to, and even the ones that you used to be close to and ain't connected with them so far. If there's an ounce of ability for redemption in the relationships, you don't got to be together. You don't got to reconnect to build and grow or whatever. Just take all of that darkness and set it down. Just set it down. You deserve better than that. You definitely deserve better than that. You deserve all of the good things. All of the good things. Y'all have a great one. Ah, pero deja de una especie